I think that every single human being is creative. It's in our DNA to be creative. We were created. We were created. No, we were created, and we create things no matter.
How are we doing, guys? This episode of the More to Life podcast is sponsored by my own company, the Lifestyle Lab. Now, the reason I created this podcast is because I want to inspire people to have more free and fulfilling lives. And the epic people that I bring onto this podcast are doing it. They're out there living it. They found their own way to find their own version of success and happiness. And I want that to be a cause of inspiration for other people. Now, it's one thing to be inspired, but it's a totally other thing to have complete actionable steps that you can follow to really start yourself on that journey. And that is exactly why we created the Lifestyle Lab. So the Lifestyle Lab is an online education platform, which essentially gives you more time, more money, and more freedom, giving you clear, actionable steps to follow. Now, it's not just an education platform. It's so much more than that. It's a vibrant community of thousands of people that are all like-minded, trying to help each other out, all with the support of different mentors, helping you on those step-by-step guides. Now, what it's really about is it's about freedom. And we give you freedom on 3 levels within the Lifestyle Lab. So the first one is freedom within the system. This is what online business is all about. It's about being location independent. It's about being able to work anywhere. So say, for example, your government decides to lock you up for 6 months and you don't like that. Guess what? You can jump on a plane and go somewhere where you're not going into a lockdown that you don't really agree with. Right? As one example, not to mention the fact that if you're earning $2,000 online, that goes a hell of a lot further in Thailand or Bali or somewhere in South America than it does in LA, London, or many other Western places in the world. So you can quickly get a whole new level of financial freedom by being location independent. So that's freedom within the system. The second piece is freedom outside of the system. This is where crypto comes into play, because crypto is about so much more than trading and making money. It's really, really important for where our society is going, because when you're able to transact with other human beings without needing a bank to facilitate that, all of a sudden you reclaim a level of your sovereignty. You're not reliant on the banks. You're not reliant on government. And it creates a whole different situation that you exist in. So just to look at this and take it a little step further, is there are many, many examples of governments and banks over time who didn't allow the people that own the money in those accounts to actually withdraw it. And for me personally, that's not a level of power that I like to give away to somebody else. Hence why I believe in crypto. So this is freedom outside of the system. So how you leverage that is up to you, but that's personally why I believe in crypto so much. And the third piece is freedom within yourself. This is the most important piece of the whole puzzle, because if you're not free within yourself, if you're not free from your own limiting beliefs, you're not free from your own insecurities, your own fears, you can never live the life that you truly want to live, because you're being held back by yourself, by your own subconscious patterns. And that is why the Lifestyle Lab self-development and mindset is such a huge, huge piece of the puzzle. Now, if this is something you're interested in, if you're interested in acquiring these 3 levels of freedom through the Lifestyle Lab, we're doing a special offer for the More to Life podcast listeners. So what we're doing is we're doing 10% off our lifetime package, which means that you get access to everything that we offer for $447. You pay once, that's it. And that means you get access to all the live mentors, all the live Q&As, you get access to the community, all the educational material, all the step-by-step business models that anybody can leverage with zero experience. It's all there, it's all available. So if you want to take advantage of this offer, all you have to do is follow the link that's in the description, use the code MORE2LIFE, that's MOORE, remember that one. Just use that, take advantage of it, and I'll see you on the other side. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast.
When I used to live in a warehouse, I used to be off my brains on drugs all the time at that point in my life.
Yeah.
And I was walking down the road and I had a picture.
Just start rolling whenever, yeah?
Sorry. I had a picture of, I'd done this picture of the Joker, Heath Ledger, the Joker, right?
Yeah.
And it's got like the hair coming out and it's made in like glow in the dark thread. So I thought to myself, this is the perfect moment, because he's got the long hair. I thought, yeah, this is a way I could pitch him my like artwork, like, oh, so he was on the phone and I just done the most cunty maneuver. So I must have been like, yo, Russell.
Russell, be my friend.
Yeah. And he was like, shoot, he shooed me. He fucking shooed me, man. I felt so embarrassed. He shooed me like a peasant. shoot.
Where was this?
This is in Stoke Newington. I used to live in Stoke Newington on Church Street. I was walking. He was turning into the park. I don't know. He might have been having a really deep conversation. It might have been something serious, for all I know. And it doesn't matter if it wasn't, because it was really rude of me to just like.
Either way, when you
it was kind of rude. Yeah, I never really thought about it. I was just like, oh fuck, I've got this. I looked at the picture like, perfect. He'll love this. He didn't even look at it. He just.
What were you selling at the time?
I used to actually sell portraits. Like I do like 3-dimensional, I won't call it crystallized. They're like, I literally get anything, stones, beads, Lego, and I used to sew them onto the canvas. So say basically you say, Adrian, do a portrait of me.
Yeah.
I would draw you, paint you up, and then I would go and get some like beads and some stones, tape cassettes, anything. If you said, all right, Adrian, I like, I don't know, pound coins. If you could afford it, I'd sew the pound coins on. So I'd make your face out of like pound coins.
Really? So,
yeah.
And this was like, when was this?
I was doing this about 5 years ago. Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago. Before I started the Bali life. Yeah.
Before that Bali life. Well, I think that's a real good point to back right to the beginning. I mean, he's been an artist for a little while. I didn't realise. I just knew you as Adrian, the fashion designer. So let's go really right back then, man, and tell us a little bit about where you're from.
So I'm from a phenomenal place called Croydon.
world renowned as it's a gem of the world.
Stormzy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm from Croydon. I'm actually from Brixton, but then I moved to Croydon when I was like 8. And I was brought up there, and then when I got to the age of around about 29, 30, I moved to Waterloo. I moved to a place called Waterloo, and I was working in an office job when I was in Croydon. I got a bit fed up with that, and I found myself like I wanted to do something creative. I've always been quite creative, either sporty or creative. So I was working an office job, a sales job, and I was just getting a bit fed up. I was like, right, no, I'm gonna become an artist. So I moved to like a flat in Waterloo that my cousin gave me, and I started creating art pieces. And it was difficult trying to sell them at first because nobody knew who the hell I was. And I did that for like a year, and then actually I started getting slowly recognised for some of these cool, quirky, sewed up art pieces. That's
really interesting. So what happened? So you're in this job, sales, the conventional kind of 9 to 5 type shit.
Yeah.
And when did it kind of drop in for you? Like, look, I can't do this. This is just not what I want to do.
You know what it was? I guess it was just like when you're in sales, which I've got a very salesy way. I kind of stumbled in that by accident because of my persona.
You got that hustle.
I know you got that hustle. I didn't even know I was a salesman. People,
you walk through the door and you're giving us like free aftershaves and that. Like, come on, have a little go on this.
It's from my mum telling me off. Like, Mum, no, I've got, always working my way out. So I was in the sales job, and I used to just find myself sitting there daydreaming. Always daydreaming, sort of thinking, is this what I'm going to, like, how long have you been in the toilet for? How long have you been on that break for? Just that kind of like, I'm not going to do this.
It's weird, isn't it? You actually, like, I remember when I was like doing sales, I would actually look forward to taking a shit.
That's what I'm saying to you.
I'm like, I can't wait to go take a shit.
I'll tell you something funny. I don't smoke anymore, but I used to smoke. And that was why I smoked, so I could have a break. Because if you smoke, you get a bigger break. You get more breaks. So I'd be like, right, smoke break. I've got to go down for a cigarette. So
anything to get a bit of respite from the monotony of life.
Yeah, basically that 9 to 5. I was just sitting there watching everybody around me, and those are some of the most amazing people. But I would just sit there thinking, is this it? You know what I mean? Am I gonna die working in this office?
Yeah. What were you selling?
No, I was selling advertisement space. I did advertising space. I did land. I sold land. I sold wine. I sold everything under the sun, in actual fact. I sold so many different things. And it's just the lying. There's an element of lying going on when you're doing sales,
I was doing like these, I had like a call center, and I was involved in like cold call, telesales, going in heavy and hard, and you're just trying anything to get a sale, and you're just constantly talking shit. Just talking pure shit all day.
100%. Yeah.
Is this good for me? Yeah,
exactly. Just like it's just, I've got a competitive nature, and I guess I was competing against the others. telling people to remortgage their houses, to buy into my products. It's all anything, you know. So it's I shouldn't say that.
It's that he was giving some really bad financial advice back in the day.
I was giving some real. So it was just all that kind of lying, that kind of lifestyle for me was a lie, and it wasn't who I was, and I just wanted to do something creative. I used to sit there dreaming of, like, you know, buying my mum a house, doing some amazing things for my family, for my 2 daughters. I just had all these kind of imaginations of living this higher, better lifestyle and not ending it like working in the office or becoming a supervisor and then eventually getting a mortgage. You know what I mean? Just like
talking more shit in a bigger role and telling other people how to talk more shit.
Exactly. So that's, I guess, what kind of led me onto the path of getting to where I am now.
Yeah. So let's keep going with that. So you're in this salesy role. You've decided that this ain't for you anymore.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go do something more artistic, something more creative, where you got something that's a little bit more fulfilling. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
So what did that look like? Did you just jack the job in? Did you have a plan? What went down?
I actually one day kind of came into the job on a really cocky one. I became the top salesman.
Of course you did.
At the company I was in. I started off as the worst salesman actually for the first 6 months. They were about to sack me. And then I got a big sale in. And then once that big sale came in, it kind of gave me the understanding of how to close sales. Weirdly, that one sale taught me so much. It was a really big sale. And then I became a bit cocky. And as I said, I was sitting there daydreaming about being an artist. And people used to tell me about my creative side, you know, like, oh, you're really good at this, you're really good at that. I studied a bit of interior design. I tried a fashion label with a friend. In the past, I used to sometimes customize clothing. And as I said, the artwork that I was doing was sewing. I used to sew art. Yeah. So I kind of had a bit of a self-taught hand at sewing things up. So I was daydreaming about being an artist, and then I went and moved to Waterloo. Got with a girl that I fell madly for at the time, and she was also an artist, and then together we would create pieces, and then I got myself somehow swindled myself into some London galleries.
The sales role.
The sales role comes back in, I guess so. Actually, I was terrible at selling my own artwork. I was really terrible at selling my own art. I think I had a more emotional connection to it. It was probably more honest, so it was harder to sell it. Telling the truth. No, this is some good shit.
No, I actually genuinely really like that. You don't really care about it. You don't need to remortgage your house or anything about it.
Exactly. So basically, I pushed my artwork, and then I weirdly kind of in that point in my life, I kind of stumbled across some people in that time, in that period, who had went and set up their own business, right? This is kind of probably leading to where I am now. So when I worked in the sales job, I ended up leaving that job and going to another sales job where I was a broker. Let's say like a bit of like a Wolf of Wall Street.
You're middleman. What you middleman out of curiosity? So you're middleman and some stuff. What?
Kind of like Wolf of Wall Street style, hardcore selling on a telephone to people, selling various things. And the guys who ran that firm were like, I think 28, 29. And those guys, they were like 24 and 21. And they were just on the verge of becoming millionaires. And so I worked really close to them because it was a bit of a Wolf of Wall Street style kind of company. My bosses were young millionaires, and people were just coming in with like Lambos. There was so much I was seeing. So I guess what you think about starts to become. It wasn't happening for me. I wasn't driving the Lambos, but my colleagues were driving like stupid cars. When the R8 first came out, mate got one straight away, hired it, I think for 10 grand and blew the gearbox out. I remember that was really funny.
That's a bad day.
Yeah, I hired it for the weekend. Some stupid price, I can't remember. I think he blew the gearbox out. And then I was living with these lads, and then we had this kind of like positive mental attitude. We were like reading books such as like Derren Brown, neuro-linguistic programming, you know, just these kind of like positive thinking, you know, type of style training, let's say. They would teach it. It was like army. They were really training us hard on understanding people, the psychology of people, how people think, embedded commands, almost like hypnosis in sales, you know, things you could say to people to make them think things. So I trained in that field for a long time. But what I learned from that the most was just like that actually you could get up and do your own thing. You know, these guys were 21 and 24 and they just got up together and made a company which was turning in millions, you know?
Yeah.
Honestly, they become like, I think one of the fellas, he became a millionaire at 27. I remember we celebrated with him. He became a millionaire at 27. The other fella was like 21, 24. Yeah, my bosses were all younger than me. So that was weird watching them. And then I left them and I worked with another guy who set up a chili sauce company from scratch. I was there at the beginning, him and the lady. They said, we're going to set up a chili sauce company. And I was like, chili sauce company? And that ended up becoming the best chili sauce in the UK in 2009, 2010, and 2011.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Gabby's Hot Stuff.
Oh, yeah?
There you go.
Shout out to Gabby's Hot Stuff.
Shout out to Gabby's Hot Stuff. I don't even know if it's still running now, but you can check that out. So those guys became really big. We started selling on a market stall in Camden. So again, that what that taught me was from working in an office, you know, where you had to tell your boss when you was going for a piss, to working with these firms where all of these guys had just set it up on their own, had done their own thing and set it up on their own, made a shed load of money. It kind of gave me an insight into actually you don't necessarily need to do the 9 to 5.
That little seed's so valuable, and it's so relatable because my situation was so similar when I was like 18, 19. I was smashing up the call centers. Yeah. And I was watching guys that were like, they were a bit older than me. They were like 25, 26. And they were killing it. And they were becoming multimillionaires doing this exact same thing. Yeah. And the only people I looked up to when I was that age was people that were selling drugs. And then now I'm looking at people that had legitimate businesses. Yeah. They were also selling drugs. They were doing a little bit of both. Yeah. But I was sat there looking at this going, fuck me. I've gone from having to do a shit job that I don't like. And now I'm watching these guys absolutely smashing it. And it just lit something up in me. It kind of like, there is a different way. Yeah. So obviously 100. I carried on selling some drugs for a little while, but then I
never did that.
So I did that a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I was a young kid with very shit guidance.
Stupid, yeah. I've been
but
there,
it was also the flip side of that was I also saw what other ways I could go. There was different directions to go in, and there was different ways to make money, be successful, etc. And it was a really powerful time for me.
Super, yeah. Same. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's just the London. You can either go one way or the other.
It's you know. I mean, the south of England is very much like that.
Exactly. Yeah, we're from the same kind of part.
Everybody just gets fucked up. Like, let's be real about it. Everyone's hustling. Everyone gets fucked up. It's so commonplace. I had a guy on here the other day, and we were just talking like. It's just normal for people to go out, have a beer and have a line. It's not really like, it's not like a big deal. Yeah. Is it? It's just
in case my family are watching, I don't know what he's talking about.
They probably live there, okay? They probably know what's up.
No, I mean, I had a wild time myself of being a bit of a savage, to be fair. But I guess that is a part of London culture. Fortunately for myself, I turned that around. But I know what you're saying. That's definitely a part of London.
It gets but I think you can look back at it and kind of go, fuck me, that's not who I want to be. That's where I'm at. I look at all those things. I laugh about it jokingly now, but that was a part of my past, and I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah,
you know?
100. I feel you.
Made me who the fuck I am. You know, it made me look at who I don't want to be.
Exactly. You know? I actually second that. I second that, yeah.
It makes you a better person because you can now look back on all of those things and go, fuck me, that's not who I want to be. That's not who I am now.
Exactly.
But it made me here, you know?
Yeah, to be fair, continuing on from that story, I went down that path for a little while. I became a bit depressed. I did not a bit depressed. I became depressed for like 2 years. After the working with those guys, I ended up setting up my own business, which became very successful. I set up a toy business, selling toys, vintage toys. Yeah. I used to be a toy seller. Yeah, I had an online store called Back in the Days. It was on eBay. It started from nothing. It was just kind of like an accident, and then it became like I was doing about £5,000 a month within a year. It started off like selling a few toys, and the next year it was like a £5,000. We were like, wow. So I turned it into a business. I just continued doing that for like 3 years, and then me and that girl broke up, and I became very depressed and started doing some stupid things.
Yeah, it gets you. I think that's a relatable part of my journey as well. I think it's when you're making really bad decisions. You go into like this whole, like for me personally, I started taking a shitload of painkillers when things were going wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got onto.
I wasn't taking painkillers.
I was smoking weed. I was taking tramadol.
Yeah.
So basically, what happened was I had surgery on my shoulder. And after I had shoulder surgery, they like gave me all these painkillers. And I was like, well, okay, fantastic.
Okay.
Now, not only was I chronically depressed because I couldn't train anymore, like a big part of my identity and my life revolved around training and boxing. Couldn't do it anymore. So I felt like shit.
You're handy with your hands. I forgot
I was all right. I was all right. I've also got detachable shoulders at this point.
Shit.
So I dislocated my shoulder. I'm all fucked up.
Yeah.
And they've given me all these pain meds. And I'm like, well, what else am I going to do? I'm going to eat them all.
So wait, can I just answer something? So they felt good when you was taking them?
Felt fucking great.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, muscle relaxant, like, yeah?
Tramadol, just like,
lovely.
It numbs like the pain receptors in your brain. So like, bear in mind, I'm in loads of pain. This is how it started, basically. It started off with, oh, fuck, I'm in a load of pain, I better take these painkillers. Then it was like, I'm a bit bored, I'm going to take these painkillers. And then it got to, there's nothing really going on now. I'm going to take these painkillers.
Oh, shit.
So first it kills like the pain, then it kind of kills any discomfort, then it kills boredom, and then any other feeling that pops up in your life, you know?
And it made you feel good.
Yeah, it felt great. And then after that, I was like, I was sat there, I was living with a bunch of my friends at the time, and like we were living in this crazy house, and like shit was wild.
Stories like that.
I mean, I don't need to go too into it, but shit was wild. There was a decent amount of money floating around. It was getting a little bit wild. And I've just had this operations, and all my mates are going out doing their thing, and I was like, well, fuck this, I'm just going to drink a bottle of wine and take these tramadol. So I got to this point where I'm now like consuming a decent amount of alcohol, mixing it with painkillers.
Oh, fuck.
And I remember there was this one point I was in my room for like 4 days straight, just staring at the fucking trees, playing this tower defense game. I was just like playing it like a mindless zombie.
Never realised that 4 days later, hold on.
It weren't a good time.
Yeah. So actually, I've done some muscle relaxers in my time of like playing around, and they were pretty good. Yeah. You start bouncing off the walls, don't you? Like.
Yeah, you don't really know. Yeah, it's a real bad spot. So it got me, and then I ended up in a massive fit of depression after that, and then it made. And I was also going through a bunch of other things. So as soon as when everything kind of comes to a head, and then you kind of go down that route, it sucks you down into that hole of depression.
Yeah.
And it's brutal.
It's brutal,
yeah. How did you pull yourself out of it? What changes did you make? Because I'm assuming you don't look very depressed right now. It's I'm assuming that you're good because you seem pretty happy whenever I see you.
Put on the face, eh? No, what got me out of being depressed was, I guess like my daughters, because there was a few times I did want to take my life. A few times I thought, what's the point of being there? Kind of, in those moments where, I guess when you're doing those drugs as well, they bring you up because I would take those drugs at the time to kind of bring me up to fight away the blues, those negative thoughts that I was having. But then the downfall of those drugs, anything that goes up, the come down is a motherfucker. So. It was in those come down moments, and it was like a pattern for a long time. There's a constant pattern. Whenever I'd go down, I'd take them again to go back up, but then it actually made the depression last a lot longer. And I think it was a couple of times where I thought, right, that's it. I'm just gonna end this. I lived in this warehouse and I had a mezzanine. I used to think, there. I could sit in bed, sit on the sofa, and I'd be looking, thinking, that's where. And I would actually think things like, I wonder how long it would take until somebody finds me. As stupid as it sounds, I would actually think that. I wonder, because nobody really comes and knocks the door. So it'd be...
what would I smell like?
Yeah, just all those thoughts. And then I think I had those thoughts for a few months, on and off, like do it and then not do it. And then it was always my daughters. If I'm honest, it was always my daughters that pulled me back in. And... made me realise, like, am I going to go out like that? Am I going to leave? I haven't been the greatest father as it is, in my opinion. So now I'm going to leave this world and leave them with nothing, like be remembered like that. No chance. I think my competitive nature probably got the better of me and made me realise that, nah, I'm not going to leave my kids like that.
This doesn't feel like winning.
Yeah, this is not the way I'm going to leave. Even in my lowest hour, my darkest hour, and then I just pulled myself out, stopped doing those crazy things, started believing in myself again. Actually met another girl. Actually, that's how I ended up in Bali. Met another girl, fell in love. We had an amazing time together, went on some holidays, had a lot of laughs, had a lot of jokes, calmed down on all those crazy things. I mean, every now and then, calmed down on those crazy things. And then she broke up with me. So I was like, fuck. Let's go back and do some more drugs. No, I didn't do that. I didn't do more drugs. I actually kind of said to myself, you know what? I can go back and do that crazy shit, but I'm not going to do that. So I said, I'm going to go and see the world. I'm going to go and travel.
What a move. What a move.
And that's how I ended up there.
That kind of roller coaster you were talking about is it's exactly what happened to me, and I'm sure it's so relatable.
Is that how
so
you ended up here?
People. Nah, the roller coaster in terms of like the ups and downs, you know, like kind of taking stuff to go up.
Yeah.
And not just, it doesn't even have to be anything too crazy. Like I know people that are just having 5, 6, 7 cups of coffee a day because they're tired.
Exactly. It's just
smoking weed in the evening to bring yourself back down,
yeah,
you know, or
right.
painkillers, whatever you're doing. Then maybe you're doing a bit of sniff at the weekend or whatever it is.
Okay.
But you're just doing this.
Yeah.
And your body doesn't even know how to relax.
Yeah.
Like a good friend of mine, he went to the doctors once and he was doing all this and he was sniffing coke 5, 6 times a week.
Yeah.
In
I've
the
had
evening,
many friends there, yeah.
smoking weed all the time, right? And he was losing the plot. He was going fucking crazy. And he was a complete live wire anyway. Shout out to my good friend. I won't. I was just about to name him then. I was just like, nah, I don't think he'd appreciate that. Actually, I'll leave him out. I'll leave him out. And he ended up going to the doctors and they were saying, he said, look, I'm bipolar. He's like, I keep losing the plot. I keep having these mad episodes. And he's quite a violent guy anyway.
Right, okay.
So like he would fuck some people up quite bad and it would all get really out of hand. Yeah, and it would go wild.
Yeah.
And then he went to the doctors. He's like, look, I think I'm losing my plot. I think I'm bipolar. And they just said, what drugs are you taking? What are you doing? He told them. He's like, no, you have drug-induced bipolar. He's like, you're either up or you're down.
Yeah.
You're literally controlling it to put yourself in a certain state.
Yeah.
He's like, your brain doesn't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
He's like, go clean for 6 months, then come back and talk to me, and then we'll see if you're having problems managing your mood. You know?
Did he do it? Did he do it?
He's long story short, he's sorted his whole life out now. He's a professional fighter. He's absolutely killing it. Epic guy.
Legend. Introduce me. What a legend.
Yeah, wicked guy. And it's just a crazy thing. And I think that so many people are on that roller coaster right now. They're taking things to go up, they're taking things to go down, and they're kind of sitting there going, why do I feel like shit?
That's 100%. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You start believing that you're bipolar, which, not being funny, I think all of us are a little bit bipolar to some degree. But then if you're taking all those narcotics and stuff like that, what do you expect? It's gonna, you know, it's an up and down, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Even weed, like I used to smoke weed every single day. Every day.
Same.
Yeah, I don't.
Same.
Same. I used to smoke weed every single day. I'm not like, you know, I mean, it's probably better than half of the other things I took. But yeah, and then I in actual fact, I used to be very hot tempered. Probably still got a little bit of that in me, but. I definitely calmer now.
Haven't we all? It's still in there a little bit.
Definitely calmer now, Joe. Definitely calmer now. But yeah, I used to smoke weed every single day and cigarettes every single day. And then when I broke up with the girl, the last girl, who's an amazing woman, and we're still friends now. When I broke up with her, I decided I'm going to stop smoking cigarettes. And the actual way I did that is in the craziest way. I don't know if this is good for your
mate, get it out there.
Well, I actually stopped smoking cigarettes by smoking weed.
I've done that.
It's a habit.
It's
the habit.
I did the exact same thing.
Right. So what I did, how did you do it? Go on, tell me how you did it.
So I just switched from, because when I was probably about 20, I was smoking a lot of cigarettes at the time, and then I was boxing and stuff as well, and I didn't want it to fuck with my training. Yeah. So I thought, what's half decent for me? So I switched to smoking pure weed. And then I was smoking the pure weed. I was getting the little kick from it, and like I was high and I was sweet.
That's exactly what I did. That's what I did.
Because your tolerance.
Right. Yeah, well, that's what happened. Yeah.
And it was costing me a fortune.
So what happened was I'd broken up with the girl, and I knew, back to the last one before I came to Bali. I broke up with the girl, and I said to myself, right, I'm not going to go and do the narcotics because they're up and down and they're obviously I don't want to be in a position where I want to kill myself again. You know,
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I was actually doing a commission, an art commission for somebody for his office. He wanted a load of art pieces to be done, and my artwork takes pretty long. So I would replace the tobacco with pure weed. So I bought a load of weed, and every time I wanted to smoke a cigarette, say I wanted a cigarette break, I'd smoke the joint, the pure joint, like. And obviously you can't smoke that like a cigarette.
That was a cloudy month.
Yeah, yeah, it was a cloudy month. So then what happened was, weirdly, I found that when you smoke weed, sorry guys, but when you smoke weed with no cigarette, because you need that tobacco hit at the back of your throat, I actually found that the weed wasn't addictive.
Yeah.
I found that I didn't actually need the weed. I was like, oh, I don't feel like smoking because, yeah. So then it was actually, I don't think I was actually addicted to weed like I thought I was. I think I was addicted to the tobacco in the joints.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was addicted to the tobacco in the joints. And then it was like 2 months later, and then I was just like, I don't need to smoke anything.
No. And then you were sorted.
And then actually I would smoke weed occasionally, but more just like, because I wanted to enjoy a joint. I was like, oh, I could have a joint. It might be like once a month. Sometimes it would be over a period of weeks where I'd be just smoking constantly. Then I'd have a drop, but it just became easy to handle.
Yeah.
And then I came to Bali, so it's been like, I think it's like 3 years no smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
So
man.
well done me. From 17 years old to 40 smoking cigarettes.
Shout out to you, my man.
Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, fucking get it.
Yep, no smoking.
Yeah, so that's an epic journey, man.
Yeah.
So those are the tribulations. Those are the tough bits.
Yeah.
But they've all led to something pretty epic as to where you're at right now.
Okay,
so let's talk about the journey of getting to Bali. So you've come over with this new girlfriend, right? You're in a good space, right?
She actually, me and her were actually meant to go traveling around Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And she when we broke up, she went traveling on her own to South America. And I was sitting in a room doing an art piece, trying not to do any like bad stuff. So just smoking the weed, as I said, this is how I kind of weaned myself off tobacco. And I did that for a couple of months. And then I was like, you know what? I think I want to try something new. England's cold and miserable. I was renting a room for like, I don't want the price I pay for a villa now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was actually probably paying double what I pay for a villa now. So I was renting a room in like central London, doing this art piece for this guy, you know, doing a bit of work here and there, a little odd job for some art companies. And then I was like, right, I'm going to get away. So I went to Greece, and I stayed in Greece for like 2 months, drawing in an apartment out there, doing some weights, not smoking, eating very, very amazing food in Greece. I would recommend going to Greece. Are you a bit Greek? You got like...
I'm not. Look, some of my friends, they call me multicultural Joe, because nobody really knows.
You got that like that Mediterranean look, yeah?
Wherever I go, they talk to me in like the native tongue. I go to Italy, they talk to me in Italian. I go to Portugal, they speak to me in Portuguese.
You're one of those.
Nobody knows.
You're the
Nobody
nowhere
knows
man.
what my mum was really up to.
I say nothing. So then, when I was in Greece, I actually applied for a job in Greece because I was running out of money from my artwork, from the artwork commission that paid for me to go to Greece. And the job I applied for, I pitched them. I was in the interview and I pitched them like, they were like, it was a sales job because it's what I knew. And they were like, what can you do? And when I told them what I could do, they called me up after an hour after I left the interview and said, we'll offer you double your wages. I was like, what? We'll offer you double what we've offered you, and we want you to be the manager. I was like, really? Yeah, we want you to be the manager of or instead of being a salesman. I was like, mate, I just want a basic sales job.
I just want to be left alone for a little while. I just want to chill out.
I wanted to chill out. And they said, yeah, but the catch is you have to go to a place called Bali. So I was like, right.
What a catch.
Yeah, I was in Greece. And that's how I ended up here.
Jeez.
2 days later, I was on a plane going to Bali. I just thought, well, I'm 38 at the time. I was thinking I'm going to be 40 around the corner. I've not really traveled much. Maybe I should go and check out this place called Bali. Yeah. And then I came here and I worked with them for a little while. Went back to England, obviously fell in love with Bali. Came back again. The first time I came here, I actually came with no suitcase. So I came with like a really minimal amount of clothes.
Yeah.
So when I was going out, I really didn't have a lot to wear. I was wearing the same stuff over and over again. So when I came back the second time, I had this thought in my head that I really want to make sure I'm dressed to the nines, you know? Because the first time I felt like a bit of a hobo, wearing the same jeans, same shorts all the time. And then I brought all my best threads out here. And the second time around, I started kind of like taking the threads I had, taking them to a tailor and telling him to change them a little bit. Like, yo, make them like this, but add this here. Make that pocket a little bit bigger because my phone always drops out. Actually put a zip on the pocket so my phone doesn't drop out. Little things like that. And then I was making the clothes for myself. And a few times when I went out, a few people would sort of say, oh, where'd you get that from? I like that. Who makes that? I was like, I make it.
Yeah.
That was it, yeah.
And then the dream began.
Yeah, that was it.
I didn't know that's how it started. You're actually making your own clothes.
Yeah, I wasn't making clothes for anybody. I was making clothes for myself. So I would be like, I'd bring the clothes that I liked, various different brands, and then I would be like, right, yeah, make it like that, but you know what, this pocket's a little bit small and this is a little bit tight there. Can you make it a bit looser? So I kind of customized the clothes to the way I liked them. Hence why the brand is called The Way I Like Mine. So I customized the clothes to the way I like them. And then when I was going out, I would have these little sets and people would sort of say, oh, that's nice. Where'd you get that from? I was like, oh, it's my own. They were like, your own? I was like, yeah, I made it myself. They were like, that's really nice. And then I had a couple of people say, oh, I've got a friend. He would like to get some of those sets that you was wearing. So I started making them up, you know, and then before I knew it, I was going to different villas and people were like saying, oh, could you like tailor me this and that? And then I was like, oh, maybe I should.
Maybe I'm onto something, yeah.
Maybe I'm onto something here. So yeah, that's how it came about. Yeah.
So let's talk about 12. It's time. It's time.
Oh, yeah,
let's talk all
Bloody
about
Nora, I do chat a lot, don't I?
Nah, that's my job, is to get you to do that. I feel like that's happened. I've done well. I've got it. I've sucked out the goods. I want the full story.
I didn't want you to know all of these things about me, man. I didn't.
I got that. I sucked the darkness out.
I was like, shit.
Oh, damn, he's got me. I didn't want to look at those parts.
Yeah.
I think it's good to look at those parts.
No, it's good. That's good to be honest about things, yeah.
People, it's very easy for when I have people sat in that chair and they're doing their thing and barling and everything's going great. Everyone always thinks that I hate it when people think it's like an easy journey and it 100. Just kind of happened overnight.
Yeah.
Every single person that sits in that chair that's doing something that they love and they really enjoy, they went through something shit on the run up to that.
Very, very true.
Every time.
Yeah,
and I feel like people need to hear it because then it's relatable for people. And they're like, fuck me, I'm in that shit space right now. I can really turn it around and I can get to where I want to be, you know? I find that very inspirational.
Well, I would love to be an inspiration to, that's what we all want. We all want to be an inspiration to others. And if I could help anybody else that was in a bad position right now, that would feel amazing for me.
Yeah,
so
you're doing that by sharing like shit times for you, man. Like it's a vulnerable space to go to talk about those shit times.
Yeah,
you know, so you're doing it.
I've had some very vulnerable moments actually.
Yeah.
There's so many things I haven't shared, which I want to share. The craziest things where you're like, what? That happened? You had that situation? Like, crazy.
We could share those ones off camera somewhere. We do that off camera.
Maybe not.
So yeah, talk to me about 12, man. So what's been going on?
So then basically, I from those people that I talked about a while ago that I met, you know, who I'd seen set up their own things. I guess I was like, right, Bali's a great place. Like they say, like America's the land of dreams. I actually say Bali's the land of dreams because everybody here, I look at them. And they're all like trying to do something new. If there's something that's missing here, somebody's going to do it tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? I always say that I'm like, oh, if that's missing, someone's going to build it. I actually came here with the idea of building my own bar. I wanted to build a day club. I had this idea I wanted to build a day club. I had a plot, a location out near Petit Tenget where I was going to build like this fantasy world, let's say, like a day club, nightclub, Jamaican, West Indian food, barbecue kind of vibe. That was my concept. And then, as I said, the clothes was where people was kind of like, oh, I like that. I mean, if I'm honest, I've heard through the grapevine the rumours of Bali. Some people say, oh, he's not a designer. These people think they can come and be a fashion designer. It's like, mate, Yeah, exactly. Come on, man. Kanye West is not exactly a fashion designer, nor is Virgil Abloh, who everybody wants a pair of £2,000 off-white, Nikes. That dude was an architect. You know what I mean? Like, and everybody wants to get a vaccine from a guy who's making computer software fluent guy. So shut the fuck up. Like, anybody can be what the fuck they want to be. You know what I mean? Like, people used to say to me, "Oh, you're an amazing artist." And people will respect me as an artist. Yeah, I never studied art. Do you understand what I mean? Like, I sold art for some money that I was like, you could pay that shit for my artwork.
Do you know how high I was when I was doing that?
And exactly. Half the time I was high off my brains and people would buy that shit, So I don't believe that, when people say that, I'm just like, all right, maybe you studied and it didn't work out for you. And I'm not saying it's working out for me because the fashion world is definitely tough and very, very competitive, very, very fierce. And always changing very, very quickly. It changes rapid. What's cool last week is not cool next week. That kind of vibe. But, I just believe that, I've always been like a creative. My friends have always told me I was a bit of a dapper dresser, let's say. I'm into that. I'm wearing red trousers, red suede. I don't know if this is the vibe.
Mate, you're rocking it.
I'm rocking it, yeah. But I've always been into my clothes. I've always been into everything creative. Interior design. I studied interior design. I wanted to be an architect, actually. Art, fashion. I wanted to be an actor. All the creative fields was where I was always at. So I used to think Kanye was a bit of a wally, but actually I respect him much, much more now because I look at him and I'm like, yeah, actually you open the door for many people like me who want to show that they can, why do you have to be pigeonholed to anything? We're in a world where now girls want to be boys and boys want to be girls. Like, if I want to be a damn fashion designer, I think that's the least of your worries.
Yeah, there's a lot less surgery involved.
There's a lot less surgery involved, doing. So, and no disrespect to those people that want to be what you want to be. Hey, so yeah, the clothing was something that I didn't really choose to be it. I guess other people kind of chose me as it because they were prepared to sort of get their coin out for me to make them something custom. So I was like, right, this is good. Like, my friends in England were like, yo, send that out to us. I've got a lot of musician friends and actor friends. Birds of a feather stick together. So all my friends are all creatives. I hang around with in London. All my friends are actors, musicians, dancers, you name it, DJs, whatever have you. So I guess I was just I didn't ever imagine myself being a fashion designer, although I did tamper with it when I was younger. But it just happened, and now I'm like, that's all I do every single day. I get up, have coffee, go and look at fabrics, touch fabrics, feel fabrics, look at inspirations, look at other designers, look at what's going on in the market, things that I would never have really done as often as I do now. My mind is just constantly ticking. One good thing about me is I have a competitive nature. So that competitive nature, I guess, always kind of saves me. It's always been my surviving thing, when things are going a bit wrong, or I'm like, no, I need to be doing better.
I can relate to that so much.
That competitive... It's
that fuck it switch. You're like, nah.
Yeah. Nah. You've got that in you, definitely.
Yeah, it's like when you were saying that in your depressive time. That's kind of what got me. There was it's fuck it, nah. This is not how I'm going out.
Yeah,
I'm better than this.
100
bollocks.
100. I was in the gym today. I with my mate Duke, and he's like a beast in the gym. I thought he was the right pansy. But now I know. Because he's really, he's the opposite of me. I'm all big mouth. He's quiet.
He's a softly spoken, nice guy.
But he will murder you, mate. Don't get it twisted. Don't fuck with that guy. He will fuck you up, yeah? Quiet, calm, he'll fuck you up. But even him, as the weeks have gone by, we've been doing it for 3 weeks, he's seeing that, I'm seeing progression. I'm like, yeah, because he's picking up more than me. So I'm just like, no, don't worry, give it. He'll be like, you can do it. And I'm struggling, but I'm like, you wait, give me 1 month. I'll be with you. I'll be doing
silently
more.
Coming for you.
Silently, sometimes if he does 6, I'll just try and push 7. I just got it in me. I just got that. I think that's very important to to doing. One of the influences, one of the things I would say to people, maybe looking to do something, I think that competitive nature is quite important. Having a bit of that competitive edge, it's bad and it's good, because I always say, like, sorry, this might be going a bit off topic, but I just want to explain this. I said this to someone the other day. You know, when people say, oh, people always hating on me and all that shit, you know, I mean, people probably don't really give a fuck. People just give a shit about themselves, to be fair. But I think that's because we're in a society of winners and losers. So I've been brought up to win. Like, my dad was a footballer, my brother's a footballer, my other brother is a basketball player, my uncles were athletes. I've always been brought up in a competitive nature. My mum, I've got 5 sisters, 2 brothers. I've always been brought up in a competitive house. So that competitive nature means that I want to be a winner. And if you want to be a winner, sadly, there's going to be losers. Do you see what I mean? So we're in a world where, like, people are like, oh, they're hating on me. It's like, well, we all have kind of got this competitive nature. So therefore, if you want to be a winner, you can't win without a loser, sadly. And I don't want there to, I mean, we're all winners. Honestly, we are all winners of something or another. But sadly, yeah, that's just the way the world is.
In different departments, for sure.
Yeah, we're all winners in different departments. But it's hard for...
If you're a fighter, you need to want to fucking win that.
Yeah, I'm not going to step into the ring to want to fucking lose.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm not a journeyman. That's
not I'm not taking part-time.
I'm not here to get punched up and take a check.
I just ain't fighting. If I'm going to lose, I ain't fighting. If I think that guy's going to fuck me up, I ain't having a fight.
If anything, I'll cheat a little bit.
I'm either cheating or I'm just not fighting. Like,
I know.
No, he's going to murder me.
We've got to find a way.
Yeah, I'm just not of that, like, elk, you know. My mum always told me that, like, if he hits you, you know what to do. Hit him back harder. It's always been like that.
Yeah, I think we live in a world right now where everyone's like, oh, everything needs to be perfectly equal. It's like people aren't equal in terms of their abilities.
Exactly.
It's just not it's not reality. Some people are physically stronger. Some people are more intelligent. I don't know. So, you know, some people are better at this. Some people are more artistic. Some people, whatever it may be. Yeah. We have different skills. We have different talents. That's okay.
And it's fine.
It's good.
Like, what's wrong with people? Yeah, it's like, it's fine. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Like, we're just on different, like, I think one of the greatest things that I've heard over the last few years, one of the quotes is staying in your lane. Like, I used to kind of take that as like being a bit rude. What do you mean stay in my lane? You stay in... No, it's like, yeah, maybe that's my lane and that's your lane. We don't need to like try and cross and, you know, it's all right to be in your lane and be good at what you are in your lane. Like a steady driver. Some people take a slower way there. Some people take it quicker. It's all right. It's all fine, people.
And the beautiful thing is when you get used to that, you get used to being shit at things. Once you can accept that there are certain things that you're good at and there's certain things you're not at, then you can go into that and be all right and take your ego out of the situation 100. And get better.
Yep.
Because if you just don't do something because you're bad at it, you're never going to get better at it.
100.
You know?
100. Yeah. Yeah, I love that, Joe. It's very, very true. Yeah. Except the thing, like, it's okay to be shit at some things, like, I mean, there's not many things I'm shit. I'm quite amazing at everything. I'd like to think no, there are some things I'm really shit at, actually. But yeah, just, you know.
I'll tell you what you're not shit at. Designing clothes.
Sorry?
You're not shit at designing clothes.
Thank you.
That's for sure. I mean, I own some of them.
Yeah, you look good in it, actually. I actually chose you as a model when I first met you. I was like,
it's a good choice.
You know what? A bit short, but a good-looking fella.
Cheeky,
model.
Fucking
no, you're not. I mean, model short.
Okay.
You're not short in reality.
Wow.
You know,
I'm fucking 5'11", motherfucker.
6 foot on Tinder. I'm not on Tinder anymore, but you know,
that's the last time I'm modelling for you.
No,
that was good fun actually. That shit was hilarious, man.
Brilliant. I've actually made a lot of models on the island. I've been told that. So I'm a good talent spotter. I've been told that I've made a lot of models, but in some probably.
Yeah. My girlfriend as well, Matilda was my
mentor. There you go. That's what I was gonna say. She's phenomenal. She's amazing. She's an empress, that woman.
She's pretty fucking good.
She's
good in front of the camera as well.
She's amazing. Actually, I was thinking about actually getting her again. Yeah, for my new campaign. I think she's got to look.
Oh, we weren't thinking about getting me again. Too short.
Yeah, babe, no. Hey, very handsome dude, man.
There we go. Look, you know,
very handsome dude.
Yeah, he just doesn't want me to edit this podcast and make him look really bad. Yeah, he's smoothing things over. Look.
No, but yeah, I think so. I think like as well. Another thing I would touch on as well, like, you know. In regards to, you said like, oh, I'm a good fashion designer or whatever have you, a very good designer. I think that we're all, you know, I speak to people and they're like, oh, I'm not creative. Have you, you hear people say, oh,
I was one of those people.
Yeah, you say
literally,
you're not
I said it for years. I was like, I'm not creative. And do you know what it was? I didn't do creative things. That was all it was.
Creative.
That was all it was.
I think that every single human being is creative. It's in our DNA to be creative. We were created.
Create.
We were created. No, we were created, and we create things no matter what. Whether it's like arguments, whether it's like food, whether it's anything. This podcast, you created this. You sat down and was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do a podcast. It's going to be this, and we're going to talk about this. It's creative. Like, people think that like being an artist is like, I even thought that when I was younger. Oh, you're an artist. That means you draw with a pencil. You must be. That's what art is, and that's what I did because I wanted to be an artist. Yeah. But it's like, that's not just art. Art is like everything. My house, the way you put things together, anything. Like when I had these visions of like this amazing house with a games room and a cinema room, and that's creating. We all create. Everybody would like every single person. These people that claim to be not creative, tell them how to do their house. They'll tell you how they want their house to be done.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? So
yeah.
We're all creative, bro. I know I make clothes based on what I like. Like, oh yeah, I think that's swag. I think that looks good. I think that looks shit.
Simple.
It's that simple.
Yeah, I think that's a really powerful point because I was that person for years because I was so focused on business and different entrepreneurial things. I was like, oh, I'm not creative. My mum's a jazz singer. She's an artist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I just I thought, I probably should have some creativity in me, but I just kind of disregarded it because it wasn't something I pursued. It was only when I actually thought, no, I actually want to learn to play the guitar, or I want to do something like this and do some different things. I started to realize, no, I am creative. I just don't do creative things because I tell myself I'm not creative. I've set a limitation on myself, like it's something that I have or I don't have.
Exactly.
And the more I started to look at it from that point of view, the more I started to realize, no, I'm actually creative in the business ideas that I come up with. I'm creative in the types of different concepts that I want to bring to reality, whether it be podcasts and different things, That is all creativity. It just isn't the pen, the pencil and the paper. There's so many different ways now, right?
There are so many different ways of being creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that. You just aren't. That's it. I mean, I think that because I could draw pretty well from young, people would always be like, "Oh, I'm not creative because I can't draw." It's like, that's not. But they could cook amazing.
It's not the only measure.
My mate can't draw, but he's a phenomenal actor. Well, actually, one of my friends, he can draw and he can sing and he can act. He can.
Damn that guy! The competitive side's going, fuck you, man.
Ruben, he's a talented musician. He can just do anything. Anything he sets his mind to, he's one of those like, I'll do whatever.
Love that.
But I think we all are creative. I don't think I know we are all creative. Yeah, but some people will argue that. So I think there's like many fashion designers. I have many friends that hit me up now and they're like, "Oh, I hear you're a fashion. Could you help me with like this?" And I'm like, you know what? You're probably better than you realize. Just do what. It's very nice actually when people approach me like that. I'm like, geez, actually, people approach me, like, "Oh, could you help me? I want to set up a fashion label." And I'm like, wow. That's quite nice that you come to me who just did it from just get up and go. I've just always had that get up and go. So
what's the difference, I think, from going from a lifestyle that doesn't really revolve around creativity to now living a lifestyle that is essentially fully based on creativity?
I would say that it's definitely the get up and go. It is like taking a dive. It's nose diving like into a pool. It's like it's taking a risk. It's being able to sort of say, I'm going to be self-sufficient. I'm going to attempt to be self-sufficient because obviously if you're working in a job, you're relying on other people to maintain your finances and to keep you afloat. And then when you decide to do these things, these ventures of being a non-fashion designer, fashion designer, you're really taking a gamble on convincing other people to pay your wages. And I think the difference is having far, far more belief in yourself. When I just being real about it, I would say it's having far more belief in yourself. I've always had thankfully my parents are pushers in believing in yourself. And I believe in myself that much. I think this is just the beginning. I think it's going to be I believe in so I don't even want to sound egotistical in the things I believe in.
Say it as it is, bro.
You know?
Go for it.
Yeah, but I believe that this is just the beginning. I want to be, in my head, I believe I'm going to be like the biggest brand in Asia.
I love that.
And then the biggest brand in the world. That's how I look at it. I'm like, right, first be the biggest brand in Asia, then be the biggest brand in the world, and then be the biggest brand in the universe.
I love that. And what advice would you give to people that are in that position where they're almost scared to take that risk? They're scared to take that gamble and do what they really want to do.
What I would advise to those people in that position is, some people believe in like reincarnation. Some people believe that there's another life. But for now, one thing we can be certain of is that we're in this life, and that's there's no bullshit about that. We might believe that there's another life, but as far as I know, we only know about this life. I can't remember the one that I was in before. So with that in mind, I believe that you should 100% believe in whatever you're doing and just go for it. Don't be, you only have now. You only have today. I always think that, like, even when I was riding here coming to see you, Joe, I was like thinking, you know what, I always think that, I'm like, I don't know, I could have a crash and die before I get here. You could die. Now I'm 43. A lot of people I know, sadly, are like dropping, are dying. In the last month, I've known of about 8 deaths. Nice, amazing people that didn't deserve to go. Well, who am I to say they didn't deserve? But I don't believe they deserve to go so soon. And so with that in mind, I'm just like, no, fuck that shit. I'm doing everything. I want to live forever. And the only way you're going to live forever is by being remembered. I believe that you're alive when you're being remembered. So try and make yourself memorable.
And tell people, where can they find Twilm? I think it's an epic place to end on, man. I think you did a nice little mic drop moment there. I really like it. He came in hot at the end. Came in real hot.
Oh, that was a freestyle.
Where can people find Twilm? Like, people are going to want to check out your clothes. And they're going to want to buy your clothes. Like, I'm giving it a shout out right now.
Oh, thank you.
As soon as you walk through the door, I was like, I need some more of those blue trousers that I've got. They're sick, man.
I got you.
And yeah, they're nice, man.
Well, now we are going to be available in Jakarta in, I believe, a store called Ageless Galaxy, an amazing store. They only do very limited brands. We've been discussing with them guys. We're on a place called Sonder Lab. If anybody knows Sonder Lab, we've just joined Sonder Lab. It's a web forum. They've got some of our collection. We're saving a specific range for Ageless Galaxy because they like to be exclusive. We're in Ubud, a place called Ubud. For those in Bali, they know Ubud. There's a Park Shopping Centre. And as of in 4 days' time, on the 11th, I've got this fascination with the number 11. I always do things on the 11th. I'm born on the 11th. It's my special magic number. On the 11th of September, we open our new website, which is going to be called www.twilmcollection.com.
Yeah.
So,
and can people in the UK get a hold of these bad boys?
We do actually do worldwide shipping now. We're having so much headache with that because freaking hell, I don't think people realise how expensive it is to ship.
I do.
From Indonesia. The amount of mates I would get message me like, yo, Age, send me that. And it's like, dude, you know how fucking expensive the postage is. Oh yeah, but it's a cheap life in Indonesia. It's like, yeah, but the postage is like more than the UK.
The planes cost a lot of money, bro.
Dude, it was so ridiculous. It's really high. So we calculated a way of now doing shipping to the world, basically. We just set a little fee in there, and now we do worldwide shipping. So, and we now have size guides because we're having problems with size. So being a rookie, we just went all arse about face when setting up this business. But now we're slowly but surely cleaning up all the,
that's the way it goes.
Yeah, cleaning it up a little bit. It's getting a lot better, a lot smoother. Clothes are getting better. Tailors are getting better. I'm actually turning into the next Virgil Abloh.
It's fucking happening. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know who Virgil Abloh is.
Off-White. Do you know Off-White?
I've heard of it, yeah.
He's the fellow who does.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. All right, you got me.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think he owns now 10% of Louis Vuitton.
Okay, I've heard of that brand. I believe. Yeah, it rings a bell.
And this is a guy who was an architect, so
So
for you guys who say I'm not a fashion designer, have a word with that fella.
What, Adrian, incoming. Fuck off.
Have a word with that fella, you know?
Give me that date next. One last time. When is the date of the website dropping?
It's dropping on the 11th of September, and then maybe in 3 months time we'll probably do another fashion show. We like the fashion shows. It's nice to give
We
that
like a little fashion show.
Yeah, I like a fashion show. It just gives that nice little classy edge. You know?
Oh, what's the Instagram?
Instagram is Twilm Collection. Yeah, Twilm Collection. TWILM. That's the way I like mine.
Legend.
I like mine.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah,
thank you for coming in, bro.
Oh, and I would like to big up some of the people here because it's not just me that run this brand, by the way. I'm sitting there like, it's the great I am. We actually there's a team of 4 of us. One being Munish Kampf, who's the guy who believed in me. He's a Canadian guy from Toronto, an amazing guy. Just had a baby, beautiful baby, Shyla, and his lovely lady too. So those guys, I forgot his girlfriend's name now. She's gonna punch.
This is a real bad shout out.
Yeah, she's gonna punch me in the face. It's stage fright. It's stage fright. You know what? But yeah. So Munish anyway is my business partner. Then there's Drew, and now we've got a newest member who's a singer from Jakarta. Phenomenal. My ex girlfriend, in fact. Okay. I've gone into business with my ex girlfriend, but she's an amazing attribute to the brand. Her name is Abigail Chantika. She has joined us because we needed a bit. Our woman's designs weren't so great, so we needed a woman. In there. She's coming to give us a hand.
Love it.
Yeah.
Massive shout out to the Twilm team. Let's get it.
No iron team.
Thank you very much, bro.
There's an iron Twilm.